Hey guys, so I've been always curious about this topic. It's one thing I would never be bored of. So like the Indus Valley civilization and the ancient prehistoric Tamils and like who were we and that kind of questions, right? So I've been reading, I've been googling, chat GPTing, and this and that for the past few years. It's always one such topic. There's another topic whether Sumerian and Indus Valley civilization, or the Tamil civilization and Sumerian civilization, whether they are related or not. S- So I found a very interesting YouTube video, like a researcher by a researcher who has used AI to kind of derive that the Indus Valley language is the ancestor of Indus Valley language is Sumerian, like you know what I mean. But before we look into that video, I just wanted to show you guys like two other videos because these videos I think this video I watched maybe a few years back, 2 3 years ago, and same with this other video. So this one is by Malaysian scholar. His name is Loganathan, Mr. Loganathan PhD. I believe he's no more, but this interview was like 10 years before. Okay, let's see what he says, right?
A primary claim is that, two things. One is Sumerian is archaic Tamil. So it is the ancestor of the present in Tamil. Another view is that Sanskrit language, the language of Rig Veda and so forth, is a transformation of Sumerian. And therefore,
Okay. Now I'm not going to go through the whole video. I'll put the link in the description. If you guys are interested, you can go through that. Let's maybe read through a few comments, right? So there's another. I don't know. This looks like another YouTube channel. He has commented that I'm continuing his work, but my own way. I say early Sumerians spoke Tamil fluently and wrote in Tamil. They had entered Mesopotamia with well-developed Tamil and not only started writing in particular form on clay tablets. See now I can interpret that famous saying Kal Tondri Man Tondra Kalathu could be applied to writing, say as we started writing on cave arts and graving stones and customs. The time is developed while Sumerian writing on clay tablets is Man Tondri. Oh. Further, Vallavanakku Pullum Ayudham would very well fit to Sumerian as they use reed stylus to scribble writing. Ooh. Okay, Korai pulled the reed as writing tool. I also postulated that the priest of Sumeria developed Sanskrit, getting rid of the writing difficulty of Sumerian and entered back through northwestern, hence as Aryan priest. This I don't know, man. This is they are saying like Sanskrit is also Dravidian language. I don't know that. I don't know about that. The ancestor place of Sumerian could be Dilmun. That could be anywhere, say Koch. The ancestor place of Sumerian could be Dilmun. That could be anywhere, say Cochin, Musiri, Kanyakumari, Kaveri, Pumanam, any other place, but with the port. Okay, they are saying Sumerians came from the southern part of India as well. So I propose Tamil-speaking people who are familiar with writing on stones went to Mesopotamia and settled, developed Sumerian civilization, and okay. So this is a totally different claim. But this is one of the videos that I watched, a few years back that kind of, that got me curious into this connection between Sumerian and, the Tamil civilization. Right now, there could be, passionate people who would say things like, Sumerians went from here to there. But I think whatever we claim, right, should align with the history and with the genetics and the archaeology and anthropology and everything. If it doesn't align with it, then I think we're just being too passionate about who we are. Let's not See, when you're searching for truth, you can't be prejudiced when you're searching for truth, right? So I'm not going to, like, I don't necessarily agree with that claim, but let's say, so, let's stick to the connection between the Sumerian language and the Tamil language, or the civilization as a whole, right? Now there's another channel that I started watching maybe a couple of years ago. There's another Tamil scholar. His name is Jeeva. He has his own channel in Indus Valley language, and he also in one of his videos states that Sumerian civilization was created by the Tamils. Again, I'm not going to get into because it's a Tamil video. I don't want to watch and waste the time. I don't know how many non-Tamil people will be watching this video, but I will put this link in the description as well. Now let's get to the actual video that I found. This was uploaded a year ago, and it has got just 48K views, which I think yeah, it should be having a lot more views, because this is a very, very, very interesting claim. So let's watch the video and then understand what the author, Mr. Peter Revesz, says.
Scripts existed in the Bronze Age all the way from Greece to India. Some of these have a mysterious origin and are considered undeciphered, such as Cretan hieroglyphs, the Indus Valley script, and the Proto-Elamite script. How are these Bronze Age scripts related? Is any script an ancestor of another script, or are they independent inventions? To answer these questions, Dr. Shruti Dagumati, my former PhD student, and I applied convolutional neural networks, which is an AI technique. First, we trained separate convolutional neural networks to recognize 8 different ancient scripts. For example, the Greek convolutional neural network could recognize any Greek letter with a 98.63% accuracy after enough training. Second, we cross-tested the convolutional neural networks. For example, when we passed Phoenician Aleph into the Greek network, then it was recognized as Greek Alpha. Similarly, the Greek network recognized all the Phoenician letters in a way that would be expected, since it is well known that the Phoenician alphabet was adopted by the ancient Greeks. The following heat map shows the degree of similarity between every possible pair of letters from the two alphabets. The heat map has a neat staircase instead of a random distribution. A staircase always implies that the two cross-tested scripts have a one-to-one matching of their letters, which suggests that the scripts have a common ancestor or an ancestor-descendant relationship. Surprisingly, we found another staircase in the heat map between the Sumerian pictograms and the Indus Valley script. This shows that Sumerian pictographic writing was the ancestor of the Indus Valley script. We identified 3 different groups of scripts using the principle that scripts can be grouped together only if their heat map contains a staircase. The first group suggests that Sumerian pictograms, Proto-Elamite, and the Indus Valley script had a common ancestor. The second group suggests that Cretan hieroglyphic writing was the ancestor of the Linear B script. Finally, the third group shows that the Brahmi script, the Phoenician alphabet, and the Greek alphabet had a common ancestor. The finding that there are 3 different groups of scripts shows that all the scripts could not have come from the same ancestor script. It follows that writing was invented independently by 3 different cultures at 3 different locations and times. Now we know the relationship among these ancient scripts.
Okay, let me get back to the.
Many.
Okay, so as you can see, the author says the AI tool clearly is able to figure out whether this script is like a descendant of another script or something else, right? Convolution, what was that? Convolution neural networks or something? Convolutional neural network. So this is the AI tool that Mr. Peter Revesz has utilized to come up with this conclusion. So there's another interesting comment that I found in the comment section, right, which kind of blew my mind, right, when I was going through that. So Elamite and Indus Valley script being from the same family does make sense, considering both civilization has a possibility of being related genetically and linguistically, as well as through the Zagrosian Dravidian family. So I think I made another video sometime back when I just Google Gemini used to be Google Bard at that time, and then I I asked this like where the Dravidians actually from, and then it said from the Zagros mountains in the southwest of Iran or something like that. I'll put that video in the link description as well. So there's this connection. I think I've seen this mentioned in many YouTube videos by scholars, right? So I've always been curious about this connection. So what this one particular comment is what I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, so this comment by Anil Sep 27, right? So it says the Dravidians began in southeastern Iran when Elamites migrating from the west, the Khuzestan area, mixed with the Eritrean Africans who had settled in the Osmo or Mosgan area. These African settlers had crossed southern Arabia to get to the southeastern Iran and were absorbed by the Elamite migrants, becoming a new people called the Dravidians. Dravidians migrated the Indus Valley River in 7000 BC, where they mixed further with the Nihalis and the Adivasis, and later the Mundas. They spread out to occupy the entire Indian subcontinent, but were later confined to the southern part when the Indo-Aryans arrived in India around 1300 BC. Where did the Elamites come from? In 18,000 BC, now it gets a bit complicated. The Kebarans, who are the Proto-Boreans, arrived in Mesopotamia from the Horn of Africa. In 15,000 BC, they split into the Nostratics, the Denidaeaks, the Afroasiatics, and the Amerins. Around 12,000 BC, the Nostratics split into the Elamites, the Kartvelians, and the Eurasiatics, who were the ancestors of Indo-Europeans. The Dravidians branched off from the Elamites around 7000 BC. The Elamite language does resemble Dravidian. Mr. David McAlpin has made a demonstration based on 57 Elamite words paired with corresponding Dravidian terms. The correspondences are on the whole straightforward and interlocking. A beginning is made in reconstructing the phonology of Proto-Elamo-Dravidian. Dravidian languages share more than 20% of their vocabulary with Elamite. So that is a very let me take you guys to the maps, right? Or else I can show you in the video itself, right? So what Mr. Peter claims. There is the map. Yeah, so what the Mr. Anil is saying, I don't know whether what is the where he got this data, or I have no idea about it. But it makes logical sense. I think I'll have to add a comment asking him for some source or anything. But here's what I made another video as well earlier based on the Google search or whatever, right? So the Proto-Elamites were here, and then the southwestern part of Iran, and then the Eritrean Africans came to the southeastern part of Iran, and then they mixed and they became the Dravidians, and they further moved to the Indus Valley area, and then in 7000 BC they started the Indus Valley civilization or something. And then they mixed further with the people who were already there in India, who were the Nihalis and the Mundas and what else. So these names I'm not even Adivasis. There's some of these names, right? I don't even know who these people are. Like they're probably the one of the first migrants to move out of Africa, and then settle in the hunter gatherer tribes, probably. Mm, yeah. So, and that's what Mr. Anil says, right? But where did the Elamites come from? That's where it got a bit confusing for me. So what he says is, the in 18,000 BC, the Kebarans and arrived in Mesopotamia from the Horn of Africa. I don't know what is the Horn of Africa. Probably this is the Horn of Africa, right? So the Kebarans arrived to Mesopotamia. This is Mesopotamia, right? Mesopotamia is Iraq, right? So the Horn of Africa, the Kebarans arrived here, and okay, they split into Nostratics, Denidaics, and Afroasiatics and Amarins. So they split into four groups in around like 3,000 years later, and around 12,000 BC, the Nostralics split into Elamites, the Caravans, and the Asiatics. So we all come from the Nostratics part of the Kebrans, all of us, right? The Elamites. Wait a minute. Kartvelians, Eurasiatics, and the Elamites. So the Elamites versus Kartvelians versus Eurasiatics. And I need to go. I need to do some, because I don't know. Like, I'm trying to visualize how these people would have looked, but I'm not able to. I even tried googling it. I'm not getting any info on like what exactly Elamites look like. You know, just to get an idea, right? Whether they were dark, whether they were more African, or whether they were more Arab. They are clearly a mix of. There's definitely Eritrean Africans in them, but the Elamites, I don't know what the Elamites were. They probably also like mostly African, because they branched off from the African. Although it's like 5,000 6,000 years after they moved out of Africa, right? In the 6,000 years, lots could have happened. So it could have changed their physique, the what do you call that, the morphology, physiology, or whatever, right? It could have changed drastically in 6,000 years. So I don't know, but this is a very interesting direction in which this research has taken us. I even actually added a comment here saying like, congratulations, I hope you get the $1 million as soon as possible, right? I hope Mr. Peter succeeds in his uh, research in deciphering the Indus Valley script, although that's not what he's trying to do here. See, there's an interesting comment here that someone has made about the Yajna Devam's findings of the Brahmi script related to the, he claims that Indus Valley script is Sanskrit based on his cryptographic decipherment or whatever, right? I think I watched that video. It's now gone a bit viral on YouTube, but I watched it maybe 1 or 2 years back when it was posted on the Sangam Talks. There's another YouTube channel that is that very early on, like discussed this particular Yajna Devam's topic. But here Peter says there's some flaws in Yajna Devam's script. See, there are several problems with Yajna Devam's decipherment. First, he assumes that the Indus Valley script is an alphabet. The consensus of researchers is that the Indus Valley cannot be an alphabet because of the large number of signs. Second, large number of Indus Valley script signs have the same phonetic value, which is perplexing. For example, sha, sa, ha. Signs are interchangeable. They could each be some sibilant. Why use different signs? The precise value does not matter. That's a very interesting question. And he also says, like, you're right that the somewhere I think he's mentioned that he's going to post another video discussing Yajna Devam's decipherment. I hope he posts it as soon as possible. It's a very interesting topic. And now, see, up until I came across this video, I was a bit skeptic about the connection between the Tamil civilization and the Sumerian, right? Because some of us, I'm talking about the Tamils, right? Some of us are a bit too proud and too passionate. We we ignore certain things when we claim certain things. Just like how the Sanskritophiles, if I can say that, if I can call myself like the Tamilophile versus the Sanskritophiles, they also claim that Ramayana is like 20,000, that kind of claims, right? Which does not like align with the current scientific thing. I didn't want to be that person. So, but now with this AI research and then this thing, I'm 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 really happy that this is finally, the world is slowly talking about the connection and how old the Tamil civilization is and whatnot, the language itself is and whatnot. The other day I was watching Cyrus Brocha, Cyrus Says YouTube channel, where there's a Scottish British guy who was talking about who he is, like he's a new book or something, and Golden Road or something like that, and he was talking about how India used to be in the ancient times, which is like these things are not discussed these days. Like there's a lot of hate going on against the Indians in the recent times, in the internet, in general, in social media. So it's interesting, and I'm like really happy that at least there's some scientific basis now, that whatever, because there are things mentioned in ancient Tamil literature about how old the language is, and Arya Padaikonda, something, the king who conquered the Arya land or something. Because these things, like because I'm saying that because now these people are now claiming that Indo-Aryan migration never happened, and they are the natives of the land, which is completely what do I say? The archaeological and anthropological evidence clearly, genetic evidence clearly suggests that there's been a mass migration, and these guys have the balls to sit on the in front of the camera and then claim that they are like the natives of this land. Stupid. Now at least I'm happy that this is the first of all, Mr. Stalin has put out like a $1 million USD, and this would motivate people, right? Like motivation is an important thing. If nobody wants to, nobody has the intention of deciphering this thing, these people like Ajna Devam are going to claim whatever they're going to claim. And on top of that, this guy is a South Indian. This guy is a Kannadiga, and that's what pisses me, right? It's the South Indians who are now who refuse their own ancestry. In a way, these guys want to be so Indo-Aryan, so Indo-European. They find any association with the Tamil civilization as inferior. They don't want that. What else is the explanation, right? Because it's not some North Indian fellow who has come up with this cryptography thing, right? It's this guy. Yes, no, I don't know. His original name is some Rao or something, Rajesh Rao or something like that. It's the South Indians who do all these things. Although I see it's a bit too early to even suggest that Indus Valley script is actually a Tamil script or whatever. But the direction is in which this is going. I'm pretty confident that this is going to be the case. Let's see 5 or 10 years down the line when it's clearly proven, hopefully, that the Indus Valley civilization is Tamil, what these guys say then, or this cryptography and whatnot, and which I think it's already been refuted, right? Yajna Devam's claims. I'm not 100% sure about it, but I think it's not been accepted in the amongst the researchers and the scholars. So let's see. I hope Mr. Peter Revesz, keeps uploading videos. He's got just 2.25 subscribers. I think he deserves a lot more. Anyway, I'll see you guys in another video.